Hi there, craft beer fans. So it's Jeremy back again for another video this week. This time, I sort of realised when looking through my previous videos and things, I'd never really talked about the definition of craft beer. So that's pretty much what this short video is going to be about. So in the US, there is actually a kind of definition, not necessarily for craft beer, but for craft brewers. So these are brewers that have a maximum annual production of 6 million barrels. So that's an American billion, so that's 1,000 million pints a year. So that's a hell of a lot if you think about it. Certainly enough to keep your thirst quenched. They have to be independent, so they can't have more than 25% of their brewery owned by a non-craft brewer. So that means someone like Anheuser-Busch or SAB Miller can't own like a majority stake in them. So that's really good. There's a couple of other defining criteria for that as well. So in the UK, though, it's a completely different story. There is no legal definition in terms of what a craft brewer is or what craft beer is. And craft beer is, in terms of the actual product itself, that is a pretty subjective thing. So it's quite a personal thing. It can be either these super hoppy IPAs, really malt forward stouts, or even barley wines, sours. I mean, you've got such a range of things and styles that are available to you. So you've got brewers on the West Coast, like the Rare Barrel, who are really absolutely crushing it with their sour beer program. You've got people like Wicked Weed. You've got guys like Dogfish Head who are doing some really weird stuff and mixing things like pine in there or spruce and stuff like that as well. In the UK, you've got guys who are super innovative like Cloudwater. Their bergamot sour is meant to be amazing. I wish I'd get hold of some of it over here. I've had their bergamot Hefeweizen before, and that was absolutely amazing. You've got guys like Siren with their Maiden series, which is just like absolutely stunning. So it's a huge range, and really, I don't know, the US craft beer scene has sort of been able to survive initially when it started out, partly because of this definition. So it meant that the big brewers couldn't just pump stuff out there that was like subpar, and for it to be, and just to stick craft on the label. And that would have destroyed the early craft beer scene in the US. And you can kind of see in the UK at the minute that there's big brewers out there, like really big brewers, who don't, in my mind, produce really great beer. They produce average beer. It's a bit bland. It's not that flavorful. They say it's an IPA, but you're really missing that hop character to it. It just almost tastes like an extra special bitter in my mind. So it's a bit of a disappointment. And I wouldn't say the UK craft beer scene is sort of suffering because of it, but there's a lot of people jumping on that bandwagon that, in my sort of eyes, really are not craft beer. So, is there worthwhile to have value for a definition in the UK as well to help that scene really advance and accelerate more than it is at the minute? I don't know. I guess there is. I certainly think there is an argument for that to be the case. Because if you get a new person who's coming into the scene who wants to try craft beer and they drink something that's not really strictly true to like form craft beer, they're going to be disappointed. They're not going to like it. They're going to go back and start drinking that swill all over again, right? So we definitely don't want that. And when I come out with now living in the US, I mean, seeing the thriving number of breweries starting up every year, like all over the place over here. I think in 2016 there was a total of 5,700 kind of breweries in total across the US, of which only 67 of that amount, I believe it was, were non-craft brewers. So you can see that craft beer and like craft brewers are really, in terms of number of breweries around, are making up well over 99% of the market. However, their market share is only typically around like 12 to 20%. So there's so much growth still. And it's all about like supporting your local guys as well, which I love. You got to get that community thing going on. So they create jobs in your local community. They quite often do fundraising events for like good causes and stuff as well. And, local business, you kind of got to support those guys as much as you can, especially over these giant like mega breweries as well, like, which, faceless corporations kind of coming in and doing their thing, right? But anyway, so craft beer in my mind is independently owned, traditional and innovative at the same time. So they're not like brewing a wort and then making it super concentrate and just adding water to like get it out there later. No, they're like right at the forefront of it. Traditional techniques such as turbid mashing, innovative in terms of adopting all sorts of new hop varieties, different fruit additions, looking at, all their cell culturing kind of stuff and like their strain cultures for the sour beers, and taking inspiration from people like Cantillon in Belgium and Brussels, and then coming out with, kind of Gerza sort of style, but obviously not in Brussels, so it can't technically be called that, but adopting it and trying to move it forwards as well. Like, just absolutely fantastic, like, sort of things. So, that's kind of me off my high horse, and I thought I'd just give you a quick introduction as to what I define craft beer and really where my journey is. And I want you guys to jump on this journey with me and let me know all about your craft beer kind of stuff, because I'm going to keep posting videos to tell you about mine. So I'd love to hear from you as well via the usual sort of social media platforms. So Twitter @craftbeerjeremy, same on Instagram @craftbeerjeremy, and then also on Facebook. So facebook.com/craftbeeradvocate. And also don't forget to check out the website, and please subscribe. Feel free to leave comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And great, awesome. Have a good, I hope you enjoy a good craft beer today.